So the author of these meditations has two separate meditations concerning the end of the year and the beginning of the new year. And the first one is for December the 30th. And the scripture that he talks about is the following: "Love will last forever, even though prophecies will come to an end, tongues will cease, and knowledge will come to an end." That's from St. Paul's letter to the Corinthians, the first letter to the Corinthians. And this is what the author says: "The coming new year usually leads to the thought about the short-term nature of everything earthly. But it seems to me that this time of year should remind us of what never comes to an end. When year after year passes into eternity, I do not mourn the things that it takes with it, but rather am amazed at what it leaves with us." Apparently, St. Paul had the same impression. For him, it is obvious that prophecies will come to an end, tongues will cease, and knowledge will come to an end, but he is amazed that love will last forever. One hears a triumphant note in this pronouncement. And in completing the past year, we should try to remember what we have been enriched with this year, not temporarily, but forever. What can one say about love, which never grows old, which knows neither time nor space, which in its essence is infinite, limitless? I would say that the thought of it should be paramount within us at the beginning of the new year. There is something in the world over which time has no power: the human heart. Everything else dwindles and wears out. Our capabilities weaken, our strength betrays us, our memory weakens, but the heart remains unchanged. It is not fated to lose the ability to love. It should always remain open wide for everything elevated and wonderful, for every need, for every sorrow. The human heart is the plant which does not perish from storms or inclement weather, but remains green and flowers even during freezing, snow-filled days. The song of love sounds within our heart when our voice betrays us. When our eyesight darkens, the bright rays of faith pierce this darkness and illuminates it. Don't look at the fading leaves. Your heart has remained young despite the years that have passed. The eternal love of God, which sent the rainbow after the flood, has not changed to this day. The gaze of divine love has not dimmed. The strength of that love has not abated. The heavens and the earth shall pass away, but love will last forever. So that is the first reading, the first meditation at the end of the year. And the second one is for December the 31st, exactly one day prior to the new year. And this meditation is from the Acts chapter 20, and it reads, "And now, compelled by the Spirit, I am going to Jerusalem, not knowing what will happen to me there." And that, of course, is St. Paul speaking. And this is the meditation. What will happen to me there? Paul had no idea what would happen. He could not predict what dangers, misfortunes, tribulations, or disappointments awaited him. Ahead lay complete uncertainty, but with his usual courage, Paul says, "I am going to Jerusalem." He was not one of those individuals who did not carry out their duty without knowing what this duty will demand of them. All of us stand on the threshold of the untried and unknown future in exactly the same way. We don't see anything in front of us. We only try with fear and trepidation to enter into this uncertainty. What will happen to me there? I don't know, and no power can reveal it to me. Our guesses are in vain. We don't know anything. What eventualities we may encounter, whether grief or joy, await us, whether our future fate resembles the past, or whether there will be something totally different. Let us not get lost in guesswork, but rather go bravely forward, as St. Paul does, following God's will, and God himself will clear the way before us. So, what will happen to me? Changes and unexpected events are inevitable, and then in the future, sooner or later, the inevitable end awaits us. Let us go there compelled by the Spirit. Only the hope in God can motivate us to go forward calmly and bravely. Let us not be concerned about tomorrow. The Lord himself will take care of it. Surrounded by darkness, not seeing anything in front of us, let us stretch out our hand and grab a hold of his hand, which is ready to support and lead us. Then we will also be able to say, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me, as it says in Psalm 23.